Hey, good evening, everybody. I'd like to call to order the town board meeting here in the town of Manlius for September 24th, 2025 at 6:30 p.m. As always, we've got a Zoom running and we're live streaming our meeting. If you're interested in joining us via Zoom to participate in any of the public comment sections, find the instructions at the top of each of our agendas. And we're live streaming to YouTube and to Facebook. So next up, now we'll plan on a listening pledge.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic which stands one nation under God, indivisible, liberty and justice for all.
Okay, so we do have a public hearing tonight about some of the landscaping in Fremont Meadows. So anybody that signed up to speak it over the podium on that, I'm just gonna skip you as we go to the public hearing section a little later in the meeting. Which I see two folks signed up for that, and then next up is Matthew Dent.
Hi everyone, Matthew Denton, town manager. I have some remarks on just a bunch of different things. So to start with, town facilities RFP. I know this has been put out, but my opinion remains that we should not be spending money on the town hall at this time, relying on planners. We need to have community discussions on this topic, as well as to review what has been done to date. The timeline of the RFP also does not foster community engagement. The schedule is to approve the RFP at the next board meeting. So that where will the two-way communication occur? We're gonna submit some comments and then it gets approved and we don't actually have any community discussion. So I just want to state that my opinion is first, let's get the community together. Let's actually have some discussions on this and then we can figure out together where to go from there. Second item, town budget. I just want to do my annual reminder now that you guys control every line item in the budget. It is 100% defined by this board. So please take the time to go through that in detail. We should not be going into multiple digits of 10% increases every year in our property taxes. So, look at the previous budgets, see what the actuals on lines were compared to what was budgeted, go multiple years back, compare them, find out where we can actually reduce the costs. We cannot be an age-friendly community if we don't get our taxes under control. We will continue to price people out of our communities. That can't be a line of something that the board is working on if we're not actually trying to control taxes. The other thing on that is I know we're delivering the tentative budget tonight. I would love to see that online today or tomorrow. I also would like to have an actual statement on what is being proposed. Is this an actual full budget proposal? Because last year did not have the revenues and all done was adjusted. It wasn't complete. We didn't get that for another several weeks. So I would love to actually have a complete budget to look at. Another couple items on the agenda tonight, longevity pay policy. I don't understand why we're adding this. I'm all for people being paid for what they actually should be paid. I know we did audits in the recent years to actually adjust people's pay. So I don't understand why we're not, giving pay based on performance and here we're just going to say, hey, if you've been with us with pay. I also don't understand if this applies to union or non-union. Because I believe union workers are also town of Manlius employees. And they already have some schedules that give them pay increases at a regular basis. So is this restricted to only non-union or is this across the board where we're basically paying people twice for one job? Another item was the bridge to Medicare policy. And this one I just have a question. Is this for a specific employee? It's very specific. You have to work here 20 years. You have to have your spouse 62 years or older. I'm all for people on healthcare. But I just want to know actually, why now, why this, and how much is that going to cost? Okay. That's my time. Thank you.
Okay, next up, Nancy Dortmund.
Good evening. Years ago, I asked a question and I asked it of the town of Manlius and I said, would you explain to me why our fire department, their increase was so much? Nobody could answer me. And it sent me on the most amazing adventure where I met with so many different departments and learned so much. So just asking that simple question really helped me understand more than I ever thought. I will always remember sitting in the fire chief's office, and above his head, there is a saying, and it says the most dangerous words are because we've always done it this way. He went through his budget line by line by line with me. We talked about each line item, so even though I had asked people on the board, and Chapman, for example, to explain why the fire department had such an increase, nobody, whether I was being blown off, I benefited, but nobody would give me that answer. I don't know if they even could. So anyway, in the matter of, it's no longer acceptable to say, we've always done it this way. I would like to throw out that as a former librarian in Connecticut, the nature of libraries are dramatically changing. If you're not aware, libraries are doing away with books. When I go to Fayetteville Library, what I'm seeing is a meeting of people, a collection of people enjoying their company. So it's special needs young adults, it's the elderly, it's people getting together, playing games, talking, activities. So in the knowledge that across America, libraries are changing, they're no longer just books. In fact, books are becoming minimal. SU has removed all books from their library. So if you're a student on campus, you've got to order a book and wait 3 days. I'd like to propose, we've got a collective school system, Fayetteville Manlius, that we start to look at our libraries. Why do we need Fayetteville Library and 1.5 miles down the road, we've got Manlius? Seems like a duplication of efforts, and we need to have an initiative to challenge, do we really need 2 libraries and then a library, which are funding at FM? It's expensive, it's duplication potentially of efforts, and now's the time with everything regarding libraries changing, that we should be changing with it. And it could be a cost savings and a benefit to the community, rather than do it always the way we've done it and spend a lot of money on it. So I'd like to have that as an item for the board to look towards in the future in budgeting. Thank you.
So, just to be clear, this board has no oversight authority of any of the libraries in the town.
But isn't that the problem?
It's the regulatory, it's the makeup of how libraries are set up in law.
So how do we have a voice, like I just said?
Libraries have boards and board meetings, and you can attend those, and they usually will get funding through like each village. So there's actually 3 villages, 2 school districts, ESM is here as well. And then in the village of Manoa, they also have their own library. Just a mile and a half down the road.
And I understand, but there's an invisibility factor of, I asked a question of the fire department, why are these increases? And what I got back was, we've always done it this way. And it's ultimately
And
coming out
was
of
that
our
a village
pocket.
board meeting?
That was in my adventure of talking to various departments, head of departments, people in the town, people in Manlius.
Well, so what you'll see is, if you come through our budgeting process, the 3 fire departments in the village fire departments will come here. They'll give a presentation on the budget. You'll be able to watch it from home or here in person. And they put together a slideshow and everything to go through what their cost increases are, if they had any savings, if they had to add staff, so on. And they'll do that for us before we make a final decision.
But I guess my question is, I'm staring at a tax bill right now for schools, and library is an item.
Yeah.
And it angers me to say we're being charged with this without a voice. It just,
The library.
yes,
have
we voted
budget.
today.
So in order to influence the school budget, that would involve interacting with the school board. We have 0 jurisdiction over that. That is a separate board, and those budgets are handled completely separate. We collect the money here at the town building, but we have 0 control over school budget.
The school budget vote happens annually, and the library budget happens annually, and they have their own boards and their own budgets and their own votes. Other states, like my best friend lives in Virginia, and she sent me a picture of her ballot. And it was all on one ballot, and it was all so clear in one day. thought it seemed great. Here we've got village elections one day, library one day, school one day, town another, so, but the.
It's very confusing
Yeah.
and yet it's very expensive. And I did go to last year's library budget meeting. And what shocked me, I was the only person to appear and they were extremely intimidated by my presence. They asked me why I was here. And I felt like everybody should be able to be in the meeting.
I
So-
remember, it was some time ago, and I don't remember which library it was, I just remember seeing it on the news, but a community group to get together. And they organized and they, to challenge the library budget, and it got a lot of momentum. I don't remember, it wasn't recently, but it wasn't that long ago, so I'd say the last several years. So that, we don't control it or vote on it,
So you're
the-
saying to have my voice heard, I would have to go to their board meeting, correct?
yes, yeah. So. And you can probably find a lot of the information publicly to see where they're getting funding from. To see what percentage of it is from taxes, because I believe they get a lot of grant funding. And then you can see the overall budget, but they propose it and there is a vote. I'm guessing it's probably not very high engagement.
No, in fact, they put me in the corner so that I couldn't see the screen. And I had to move so I could see what they were talking about. But I have to commend the fire chief. We had a very productive meeting going line by line. I could ask him, I've controlled, $500 million budget, so I understand what he's talking about. Extremely helpful.
And which fire chief was that? Which village?
Manlius,
Manlius.
one on Enders Road,
Yeah. Thanks for sharing that.
he was wonderful.
Great.
Okay,
Okay.
next up, we have Wendy Wilson Simmons.
Hi. Is this working?
It's for people online, so you could just project.
Oh, right, because I couldn't really hear anyone over here. I'm gonna read this letter about the property at 5186 to 5200 High Bridge, spelled wrong, town of Manlius. Which it is with dismay that I come before you tonight. Only last week I became aware that a large early dwelling spot in the town of Manlius, adjacent to the Bramlett Bird Sanctuary in the village of Fayetteville, is being auctioned off by Onondaga County and Absolute Auctions and Realty early in October. I've only had a couple of experiences in that area and was at that time completely taken in with the beauty of the rushing creek, the beautiful stones, the natural wild environment, and clean air. It is difficult to remember that this 7.75 acre property is located in the midst of a heavily populated area of apartments, condos, and homes. Just a short walk from the mall and other developed properties along the Genesee Street corridor. Like a piece of a puzzle, this property could work as a continuation of sidewalks and pathways already existing in the village of Fayetteville and the town, and might even lead to housing across Route 92 in the town of Manlius. Members of the community could develop community gardens, wellness walks, and work to restore the area to pre-modern status environmentally. Youth of the area might learn how to keep nature alive in the midst of a massive progress, which is sure to continue. The ponds and the creek are not far from Wellwood Middle School, are near the Fayetteville Free Library, near the previous Fayetteville Pines property at the end of Orange Street, which was recently purchased by a real estate company from out of state. So many people could benefit from a mutual shared natural parkland within walking distance, increasingly valuable as ownership of automobiles becomes an unavailable expense for many in the future. It would be a shame to allow the paving and development of this natural area that was probably a resource for many inhabitants of this area even before the first settlers and the 1840 building noted in the property description. The town of Manlius has cited the wish to develop protected areas for nature, wildlife, trees, and indigenous cultivation. I wish that some conversation had or might occur as the town has the ability to claim this property under eminent domain. It would be a good thing if we, the residents of the town of Manlius, could invest something towards the future of the children and peoples of future generations that would serve as an improvement of life and health. We could make a difference in the quality of all our lives, but most importantly, make an investment in the lives of those who may live in the future. I am sure there are difficulties involved with removing a property from the tax rolls, but it might be the investment in our community that can make all the difference in a changing and rapidly developing world. Thank you for your consideration.
Thank you.
Thank you.
One sec, we've got one more person second. Got Michael and Rita. Hard time making last name.
Somewhere else is. 2 weeks ago, at the meeting on the 10th of September, there was a resident that spoke about property in the Homewood section. I want to talk about an abandoned trailer and garage right down the street from me on East Myers Road. No one has lived there for 18 months, 2 years. 7887 East Myers Road. Homeless wouldn't even consider living there.
Could you repeat the address?
7887 East Myers Road. It's toward the North Manlius Road. They get no mail delivered. No one lives there. No lawn's been mowed. It looks like a hayfield. I was brought up on a farm, so I know what a hayfield looks like. The roof is collapsed. No front door. Windows are either broken or missing. And on the weekends, there's drinking parties at the end of the road. So the litter from the cans they leave, because they have to get rid of their evidence before they get home, these teenagers. I just hope we don't have to call the Manila Fire Department because there's an accident.
We can, I'll talk to Tom Boytress, our code enforcement officer, and ask him to look into that.
Thank you.
Thank you.
7887, right?
Yes.
Now, better, local resident. There's a little benefit of going to life in local place. I'm now in my 70s, and all of my licenses from that high have enjoyed parks. I've enjoyed parks in the majority of the United States, and also in Canada, France, England, Austria, and Italy. And I make a big point of going to parks in all different sites, whether it's little local city parks, whether it's big national parks, whether it's historic places. I mean, I see them, and I've been in the woods in a lot of places where there aren't parks or could be. And basically, I know a park when I am in one or see one or possibly one. Once I've experienced it, I understand what I'm looking at. And very few people have spent as much time in parks as I have. I know that. I'm sure I can give people lessons here about parks within 20 miles where we stand. And most of them, people have never been there, don't even know about. And this parcel on High Bridge Street, I'm familiar with it. I was the owner, and for over 50 years, I've spent time on that property for various reasons and understand it quite well.
And back many years ago, when I was a trustee, I kind of twisted some arms. And the village bought a piece of land on the end of, I believe that's North Street. The purpose, the reason the village bought it was so they would have access from that side of the village, basically Fayetteville Pine was in that neighborhood. So that if ever a pedestrian bridge had to be built across Limestone Creek into that land, they could do it. Now, we gave up tax revenue. What a terrible, awful thing. Okay, somebody was gonna build a house there, you're gonna get taxes on it. We've been like almost 30 years with no taxes from that property because the village owns it. But it gave us access to that property and Limestone Creek, because Limestone Creek is it's a resource, it's also a big liability to the community. And it gave us one more access point. I would guess I encourage the village to look carefully at this and give consideration, because parcels like that don't come up very often. Now, one could sit there and say, well, look, we can develop that, and we can get revenue off it. Well, now, if you look at that 7.7 acres, the majority of it, the overwhelming majority is in floodway. And although I'm watching as the laws under New York State and the federal laws that tell you you don't build in floodways, because I watched people take it out of houses on High Bridge Street with rowboats. Most people don't know it. I watched. I let Limestone Creek turn into Raging River, and I ask you to please consider looking into this.
So,
Thank you.
Malcolm, before you sit down, you and Wendy, hi Wendy, you're both referring to the same property.
Yeah.
I'm not familiar with what you are talking about. What happened to it? Why is this suddenly a topic of conversation?
It's been advertised, or I'm told it's been advertised up for sale for taxes.
Onondaga County is auctioning it off on the 7th of October. Back taxes. And then it'll be gone.
So you are
And then
hoping that,
probably it'll get bought by someone who wants to make an investment property. You know, pave, parking lot, more
So I
apartments.
guess to respond to that, I think we can connect with the owner of the property. And just verify what's going on.
And vice versa, if you need your part.
Auctions. Look at that, it's on the internet.
No, I know it's there.
I didn't realize it was just a fluke and it.
So
It's
we will,
just like, I
we will
don't
check
know
with the owner.
if anyone is from around here, you might remember White Lake up in Story. It got bought by one individual, when people in the town for the benefit, town do it, would have benefited from that beautiful lake.
I recall.
Of course, under eminent domain, it doesn't need a for sale sign in the town to buy it if they see it. Modified.
We'll talk with the owner.
No, thank you very much.
thank you, well,
Thank you.
Is there anyone joining us via Zoom that'd like to speak at the podium? If so, please use the raise hand function. And then just one last call for anybody here for the open podium. Okay. So, first up, we have the public hearing. The town board received a request near the end of August from the residents of the Fremont Meadows subdivision, asking for its 3 shrubs, couple shrubs to be removed. I know they had worked with the highway department and there was some back and forth, and so after talking to the highway superintendent, I had said that, you know, we'll talk with the folks, and if we can hold a public hearing, get feedback on that. And then with this town board will make a decision and we'll direct the highway superintendent in one way or another based on the comments we hear tonight. Anything that anybody would like to add before we get into it? I mean, like, you vote on that. You know what I mean? So, okay, so I would look.
So I'll make a motion to waive the reading of the public notice. Mike can do it.
Oh. Mike seconds. So all those in favor? Aye.
Motion to open the public hearing?
So motion to open the public hearing. So. Second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Close. Hey,
Oh, I'm sorry, who opened that? You got in there?
Sarah.
ceremony. Thank you, sorry.
Yeah, we'll talk about. Okay, so, if anyone's here via Zoom, to speak at the public hearing, please use the raise hand function. First, I'll ask for anybody in the first row. Anybody here for speaking in the public hearing? Thanks. Okay, are you here to make a comment? though?
Yes.
Come on up to the podium.
This comment.
Yeah, John.
Island at Fremont Meadows.
Yeah, we just opened the public, hearing, so come on up.
John, I didn't get a chance to sign in, so.
Yeah, no, we're gonna go, row by row.
I'm Richard Starowiak. I live in the Fremont Meadows area, 32 years now. Passed around some aerial views of the island.
Oh, you provided this, thank you.
Yes, if you look at that, it's nowhere near as dangerous as was made out when the petition went around. There is two plantings at the far end towards the Laurel Mountain cross street. And
Laurel.
not Laurel. And from the proposal that was sent, that last tree is one of the few things that's gonna remain, which is probably got the most impact on visibility, which really isn't a problem. Drive through there, you might get a sense that it's more dire than it is. The aerial view shows there's considerable space on each side of the island. In fact, isn't there? When the petition went around, there was references to flowers being planted, shrubs and so forth. None of that's mentioned in the letter that went to the town. Talked with Rob at the highway department. He indicated that trees go, he's just gonna blacktop the thing over. Which is gonna look like a mess, especially after the weeds and grass have grown through it. So would hope instead of taking out an aggressive prune and maybe lose that last bush and tree rather than just gut it. So that's my statement.
Thank you very much.
Okay.
Okay. Second row over here. Yeah, come on up.
Edward Bond, Fremont Meadows. Mostly a couple of questions, maybe for solutions. That were regarding the town, who owns it? We can find out later, whatever. Typically, when the road is the center line, town takes care of it. I'm not sure who owns it. Second thing is, whose responsibility is it to maintain it? That's gone back and forth, whether it was the town, whether it's everybody in Fremont Meadows, not sure where that stands. And then lastly, if we do make changes to it, to take down the bushes and also I believe 2 trees near the sign, you didn't mention that, but there's everything's tagged now. Suppose those are removed, you take care of it. Does it become our responsibility through adverse possession or something else later on? Does the town relinquish all responsibility? Becomes ours, or where does it? So I'm just looking down the road. And then what could be done to work together? Supposing maybe some designs of different ideas, so that people could get together and say, yes, this looks good, this doesn't look good. How's this all gonna work? Just so we got like maybe the top 10 list. So that's all I'd like to mention. Thanks.
Yeah, thank you very much. Come on up.
Hi, my name is Diane Jessen. And I'd like to put my comments tonight on public record, if I may. I was the person that went door to door to every one of the 160 houses in Fremont Meadows. I recorded yes or no votes for all people in those homes. I did so with the thought that private information collected by me to substantiate the vote would remain private. And I was very, very careful to maintain the privacy.
Earlier this morning, I saw that a copy of the voting records were posted on the Town of Manlius website as a PDF file for everyone to see. I was curious when I saw that online PDF. I immediately reacted, and based on my prompting, it was quickly removed from the website, and thank you for doing it. I don't know why it was posted online. I don't think it should have been done. Now, based upon the fact that it was taken off the website, this showed that it was not required to be on the website in the first place. Having the information recorded as a backup to the vote count and maintained within the town as public record in a paper copy form is one thing, and I accept that. But having it posted online on the internet is another thing. I know I don't want my contact information and my signature posted online. I think going forward, the town of Manlius needs to establish an internal policy of proper handling of public record information to make sure that private information that does not need to go on the internet does not go on the internet. My neighbors expected that their information would remain private, and that is something that I told them I would do. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Can I submit this to someone for public record?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Next up, second row.
Thank you.
Thank you.
My name is Jed Jessen, live at 5804 Mountain Laurel. I brought a couple pictures that I took yesterday of the shrubs, which I'd like to pass on to you folks here. I took it from both angles. And I would contradict the thought that there's not a lot of danger with those. The shrubs that are there look like they're about 50 years old. They form a wall.
That's not you.
Down the entire, that was quick. They form a wall for like about 60 feet. To just trim them, you're gonna end up with just branches with no leaves. All right. If you look at those two pictures, all right, one of them has a car in it.
You can't even see.
You can't even see it. Okay, car was turning down. I happened to take it. Hey, God, a picture of maybe the nose sticking out. Took the picture of it. It is totally, you can't see it. People walking from, I can't remember what the other street is, or the other end of Mount Laurel. From the Leaf Crest end of Mount Laurel, walking toward Magic Way. There's not a problem because you see the cars coming that are coming down. There's no problem. If you come from the other side where we live on, all right, you can get killed if you're walking from that end and the cars are coming down, you can't see them and they can't see you. In the other picture that hides the cars, you see the end of a bicycle tire. If you look at that, way at the end, very small, those cover everything in that area at a certain angle. If you go halfway up, which people won't be walking up, you can see between the trees. But if at the angle that I took there, it's a wall from both directions. It's dangerous, and I know of a couple of people who said they've almost gotten killed with cars coming down, some flying down Magic Way at 30 miles an hour because they're going way down, as opposed to turning left or right for the neighborhood. So I would stress the safety aspect as being more important than might be suggested elsewhere. Thank you. Thanks.
Third row, on this side. Second row this side. Anyone else, show of hands, come on up.
Hi, my name's Melanie Mario, and I also live in Fremont Meadow, and I agree, I walk all the time and we go up the ground, and it is scary every single time, because unless I see from Burdick Street that they're turning in, I would never know it, and so from someone who lives in that neighborhood, I know we've always talked about how it looks, but I think the bigger picture is the safety of the issue, and I think your pictures are spot on. And so to me, and I think what the biggest thing everyone's always said is the sign, the sign, the sign, the sign. That has been the biggest thing. I think the shrubbery has to go at this point because it grows, and then who's gonna take care of it? But the biggest thing for me is safety. And I walk all the time and that is a big issue. And I like to do the big loop, but I don't want to not do it because of that area. And as you can see with those pictures, it's evident. So I just don't understand why it's such a big issue not to have it done and that we have to meet with the tree company and so forth. Do you know what I mean? Like, it shows what else is there to discuss. So that's it.
Thank you. Okay, just last call for anyone in the room, anyone online? Is there anyone else who'd like to make a comment? So I will give you another 3 minutes.
In addition, people walking on Mount Laurel, if they're walking on the right side of the road, you're not supposed to do by law, then your visibility is reduced. But they should be walking facing traffic, and there's 2 state laws describing how pedestrians are supposed to cross the road. There's also a lot of people don't understand, but pedestrians don't always have the right of way. If you see a car before, you're supposed to stop before you cross the road and look. And if you're walking on the left side of the road facing traffic, you see people entering without an incident.
Thank you.
Yes, there are safety concerns, and again, the last 2 bushes were removed, it would improve things greatly. That is a very aggressive trimming.
Thank you. Okay.
Nice movie short, sweet, Susan Kane, I also live in Fremont Meadows. I'm the one that drafted the letter. We have a lot of children ride bikes, 7, 8-year-olds. We can tell them what side of the road to go on, but when their car slams into them, they're not gonna be worried about traffic.
Okay.
In my life, I've had a very big interest in sidewalks. One of the things I also take a big interest is real property law. And here's the thing that people get mixed up all the time, is who owns what. Now, a surveyor can go out there at this site where there's a problem. And without spending a lot of money, drive stakes in the ground to say, what is town property and what is private property? Now, if it's town property, the town can put sidewalks in. Now, you'll hear all sorts of excuses, well, we gotta get votes by this number of people, and a bunch of other things, but in reality, if they see a dangerous spot, there's a lot of people using it as if they're sidewalks when there aren't. That's a liability on the town anyway, that they're refusing to put in sidewalks and make it safer. So if they wanted to ever investigate what is town property, what isn't, and decide, is there a place to add sidewalks? It makes it a lot safer and brings out a whole lot of other benefits that you don't get without the sidewalks. Thank you.
Okay, any other comments? I know we have a letter from the tree commission.
We have no comment.
Oh, right.
I just got a question. So we've been talking about this for years and years and years, right? We had several plans for the island, several suggestions. And I know that not everyone agrees as to what should be done, right? And that's fine. We won't all agree. But what I want to know is we brought this forward multiple times. Who's liable, who's responsible when my daughter, who's autistic and may not know the laws, gets hit by an incoming car? Me, you, the town, the people that say they don't want to do it. Who's liable?
So the highway superintendent has looked at this, and as far as state law goes, there's no remediation that's needed as per state law. But we received a request from the residents, and I did actually pull up the GIS map from the county. So this island exists without a parcel. It's technically just part of the roadway. So it is town's responsibility. If you look at the subdivision map, I'm sure this was a certain piece of parcel that a eventual HOA was gonna take care of, as we see in many other neighborhoods throughout town. But at the end of the day, this is something that the town takes responsibility to manage. And that's why we're having this public hearing. But like I said, as per highway law, state law, based on the examination of the highway superintendent, there is nothing that is in violation, that impedes any, the right of way or any visibility. But again, that's why, you know, sometimes state laws don't do everything we need them to do, and we're having this conversation. And generally speaking, I know, there were some conversations had with the highway superintendent. He was asked if he was gonna remove the shrubs, what he would do. His job is to maintain the best visibility, least maintenance, lowest cost to the taxpayers. If it were completely up to him, he would pave it and it would just be a street. But again, it's the neighborhood, there's been conversations about developing it into whether it's flowers or whatever. There is some interest by the community to do this and to take care of it. So the town always holds responsibility. But we have this across a number of neighborhoods where we have, you know, a couple of neighbors who 3 times a year, 4 times a year, they get out and they fix up the median. And basically there's an understanding that as long as you're not impeding visibility or moving into the right of way, then you can maintain it how you'd like, and the neighborhood can, you know, have their own discussion about how they'd like to maintain it.
And not to interrupt you, but that's what we're asking for, right? We have a majority from the neighborhood that wants to do exactly that, and we're being told we can't, right? So,
I don't think we're saying we can.
No, we're gonna make the decision
okay,
after this public hearing.
all
I
right.
didn't actually mention your name, but. just so that-
Troy Shamlaw, 7305 Snowball Road. The other thing I want to address though and say is that the pictures that were taken from the ground level show the accurate depiction of what's going on. We don't drive from the air, we drive from the ground, right? So again, leaving, not a big deal. Coming in, there is zero visibility.
And if I may just add, a lot of folks have been asking about who's responsible, who's liable if a awful tragic event happens where a pedestrian would be struck, it would be the driver. Would not be the town who would be responsible for it. I understand the position that you're taking, but I'm just saying by law, it's no different if someone got hit.
That's not.
I'm not disagreeing, I'm just answering the question. I hear you, I'm just saying legally, that's who would be responsible, not the town.
Here to get visitors.
One to comment. John Romanoli, 7368 Spring Mountain Drive. One of the biggest problems though is speeders. Every one of these people here come down that street, racing like it's bad out of hell, but they gotta get somewhere fast. I've seen it, they turn down Magic Way and they just down, get there down to the hill, they turn to the stop sign, don't even stop. Going out the same way, they just want to get up that hill as fast as they can, get out of there. I think a lot of them want that median removed, so they can look down North Birch or to their left, see there's no cars coming, and just take the right turn or else stop at the stop sign. That's one of the biggest issues though. People come down Magic Way, you turn into it, they cut that corner so close, you can let them turn into it. Everyone was taking the nose off my car a couple of times, just punch it going down the hill. So the median really has nothing to do with that. It's the drivers and the people who drive this car that they. That's the biggest issue.
Okay, so just as a reminder, everybody, public comment periods are for folks to address the board. It's not really meant to be conversational or
Right.
with other, I'm just saying, we're taking all the comments, we're happily taking those in. Thank you for the comment.
One suggestion is maybe we could put some sort of speed bump in when they first come to development. This will be good, they're gonna slow down. Cause I've seen them, they come in there, they don't even bother slowing down. They just punch to get down that hill. So we can put some sort of speed bump like you have over here in Fayetteville to slow them down.
Well,
There
so
might be
what we'll definitely do, regardless of whatever the outcome
That's
is.
one is, to
Uh,
slow down.
Chief, could we get Magic Way and maybe just a couple parts of the development added to the list? So we've got a couple speed measuring devices. We'll get out there and we'll.
Please done there, they're doing a great job doing it. And once the people see it, trust, they crawl down the road, they go over there. They bring a patrol car in, they stick them to stop signs, somehow people find out and they crawl. Big offenders, they crawl. And then when you're gone, back to the road hands.
Thank you. Okay, any other comments? Show of hands. I didn't see any on Zoom. Seeing no further comments.
Okay, this is from the tree commission. Dear town councilors, the town of Manlius Tree Commission wishes to express our opposition to the requested removal of mature vegetation within the Magic Way town right of way. In addition to serving as a gateway to the Fremont Meadows neighborhood, the vegetated median serves multiple purposes that extend beyond its subjective aesthetic contribution. We encourage both Fremont Meadows residents and the town board members to consider the following points. Traffic calming and safety. Landscaping medians naturally narrow the visual field for drivers, encouraging slower travel speeds and heightened awareness. Generally, this effect creates a safer environment for pedestrians, cyclists, and residents, particularly in a neighborhood setting. Removing a significant portion of the plant material risks increased traffic speeds and may exacerbate the safety concerns raised by community members. Green infrastructure. Trees and landscape features are not simply aesthetic elements. They are vital infrastructure for the town. The mature vegetation within the median provides measurable benefits, including shade and heat reduction, mitigating urban heat island effects, stormwater interception and improved water quality, reducing runoff, cleaner air through carbon sequestration, habitat for life and pollinators, contributing to the town's ecological health, increased property values, and enhanced neighborhood character. Tree Commission initiatives, preserving mature vegetation within town right-of-way areas, sends a clear signal about the commitment to sustainability and livability. It also reinforces the principle that trees and landscaping belong in public right-of-ways where they serve the greatest community benefit. Removing established vegetation undermines our commission's recent efforts to bolster the town codes pertaining to tree preservation. We recognize and are sympathetic to the concerns raised by Fremont Meadows residents concerning safety and neighborhood character. At this time, the Tree Commission encourages the town board to continue to view trees and landscape features as essential assets to our community and move to preserve the vegetated median to the extent practicable. We respectfully request that alternatives to removal be considered. Additionally, we gladly offer our partnership in developing a suitable replacement tree planting if that is the desired outcome. Thank you for your consideration. Sincerely, Stephanie Gureshi, co-chair, Alyssa Italiano, co-chair and town councilor, Craig Donnelly, Leanna Nugent, and Ann Young, members of the Tree Commission.
Thank you. So, we're in motion to close the public hearing. So Sarah made a motion, Peter seconds, all those in favor? Aye, opposed? Okay, motion carries. So I know we have two town councilors that have been residents of the neighborhood, but your opinion, do they need to not participate in the vote?
I would suggest they not participate.
And I submitted a letter in opposition of asking the board not to make a vote tonight, so that the tree commission can have a chance to meet with the residents and come up with a decision. Possibly that is appeasing to the residents and the commission and in support of our tree vote as well.
So I also have,
So,
Do I have to not vote?
so you want us to postpone?
Right, ideally, I would like you guys to postpone this motion because. As well, the tree commission does have a project that could provide the plantings in the right area too.
is anyone opposed to?
And that seems like a good solution. Because I was, one of the issues is the ongoing, one of the issues with the care of what is left. And if the tree commission kind of accepts oversight, that would be a good thing.
Well, especially too, if there's, I mean, we know we have a tree planting budget and I can't imagine the residents will wanna put together so much that we could actually look at shadow trees or something. We could actually take a real look at what we could do with that, so, is anyone opposed to?
Well, I guess I have a couple of questions, because I think that there's a lot of people here tonight who would like a resolution, and we've been kind of deliberating on this for a while, like if why don't we make a motion to authorize the highway department to remove the shrubs, and then work with the tree commission on a plan to plant them? Why do we have to wait for that?
Some of those shrubs are the shrubs that should be remaining and we're counted in our.
So I'm not hearing anybody who spoke at the public hearing, I'm not hearing any resident or concerned member of the public saying that they would prefer a strip of concrete there, so. We should really, it would behoove us to produce something tangible to explain what we would actually build, put there and in tandem with the resolution. I would be concerned if we just went ahead and say, go ahead, highway department, go ahead and clear it out, without some concrete place what's gonna replace it.
Right, and maybe a couple of them would stay, but if they're already ripped out, it's too late.
I guess there's quite a few people here to talk about a couple of wishes in this meeting, so it's obviously become a very important issue for everyone. And the concern about safety is, I mean, like, you really can't see in these pictures. Of course, I, as the chair of Sustainable Manlius, I love a good tree. I love healthy trees. I would like to see native plantings here perhaps. But if safety is concerning, I don't want to keep dragging this out looking for a perfect solution. Like, looking at this, there's nothing I'm looking at that looks. Yeah, savable. I think it's a testament to my hearing more than anything else, but yeah, I would like to move forward with this step now. And I think that all this could be removed and then we can work together. It might take weeks and weeks before we have a plan of what we're gonna put there. And to keep drawing this out, waiting for a perfect plan, I think will continue to frustrate our residents. It might be perfect, that might be the perfect solution, but I don't think we need to be stepping over the good to get to the perfect. We can work together to figure out where, but most of the planting won't be able to take place till this spring anyway.
I'm just interested, I mean, if the community members who are most invested in this problem are satisfied with that, if we were to clear this out tomorrow and then nothing happens till spring 2027, are you comfortable with a strip big?
So,
It's not a vote.
well, would be a strip.
Thank you for sharing your feelings.
So I just wanna make a comment, cause I'm a resident of the neighborhood, right, so I'm
You
not,
gotta do it, you should have spoken through the public hearing.
we're in debate now, so. I can't vote, because I lived there and I participated, and I voted yes to remove these for many of the same reasons as most of you spoke. So, Councilor Italiano got a hold of me earlier today and said, I don't want, to be surprised, but the tree commission is gonna submit this letter. Because we can provide you with, additional options to you as in our neighborhood. Additional options to, move forward in a way where it's looked at with all of our input. And that they have money that they can actually spend to address the island. So,
Yeah,
and in the meantime, can have the highway department determine if there's any immediate need to visit for visibility and pull something while that's going on. So, I will have a say on that, obviously, but I just want to make sure you understand what they were saying, because a lot of people started talking all at once, but that was what was proposed by the tree commission when they sent that letter. How do you want to handle comments from?
So I'd like to comment also, so both as the resident, I share the safety concern, I don't know if it varies based on how tall you are, I'm not especially tall, and when I turn off of Burdick Drive onto Magic Way, for me, I see a wall. And I'm concerned about the young kids on bikes and the walkers and the runners who I may not catch because I can't see high enough. So I know Susan, you and Dee have played a significant role in this. I'm wondering if the two of you would be willing to be representatives to meet with a couple of folks from the tree commission to map out a plan and come up with what might that look like, that is both low maintenance, also fairly low to the ground so that we don't create a new wall. Is that amenable to the two of you?
Yeah, I wrong this.
Okay,
I mean, we spoke before.
and I know others have their hands up as you do.
We absolutely are willing to do that. As a community, we've already decided that, when we thought they were gonna be pulled down, we were gonna plant some mulch just for the fall, clean it up, do some mulch, make sure it looked presentable. And then get together, raise funds, and get some landscaping people to give us some ideas of what might be nourishment to that, our habitat, or what would look best, or what's easily maintained. We already were gonna do all of that with our own dime. But we don't really wanna wait to pull those shrubs. I walked today, and I walk out of the neighborhood, and I go over to the hills. And they can't see you, and I can't see
Oh,
you.
thank you, but we
I-
have closed the public.
Yes, we're willing to work with that.
So what I would suggest from good work is we have a motion prepared that is, I'm not making this motion to authorize the town highway department to remove the shrubs and grass at the entrance to Fremont Meadows. So. Can the tree commission commit to coming up with a plan in some turnaround, or maybe do a quick analysis of which should and shouldn't be removed?
I believe so, I think, I don't see why we couldn't alter this motion to say authorize the tree commission and the residents to work together and move forward, basically it's doing the same thing except having it be the tree commission.
But that's not what the neighbors are saying they want. And they are the ones that have to drive by this. We're not looking at pristine old oak trees. These are ugly short bushes. I don't understand.
I don't mean to interrupt you, but this area was included in our tree inventory and these are documented within that tree keeper software.
Okay, so
So
it's
it's
1, 2, 3,
but this
4,
is in there, so
5,
you have to
6.
follow what that report was that we were given.
What do you mean we have to follow the report?
Well, we were given $75,000 on doing a tree inventory and a report, and it guides us in what we're supposed to be doing. For trees in here, so you might think these just look like raggedy old shrubs and everything, but there is a tree inventory and a report. For what we should be planting and not planting and removing and not.
So this is really kind of annoying, why I'm interested in, is there something that can be committed to in tandem with approving this motion, because obviously. So we can do this.
We could make the motion contingent on a
Yes.
approved replanting plan by the tree commission.
Before these things are pulled out, because there are, like, and I've been in communication with the highway department and. Bob from there has said that there are some items that would not be pulled out.
Yeah.
Already.
So, okay, so that.
So Rob marked them, just to be clear, he marked them already with orange tape.
Orange tabs on. Yeah.
So Mark, so we'll do a motion that's contingent on a sign off from the tree commission, is that? What we're
That's
gonna
in
do?
conjunction with the rest.
It's conjunction with the residents and further replacements of it.
So, okay, it would be to authorize the highway department to remove shrubs and ornamental grass at the entrance to Fremont Meadows. Let's say, contingent upon, consultation with the tree commission for which items to remove and a replanting plan.
That are acceptable to the residents.
Well, the residents are not, we have a consensus of that.
So it did say, Carrie, could I see what the tree commission wrote? Could I see the copy of that again?
So is the policy of the
So it
tree
says-
commission to take a tree, plant a tree?
We have proposed a
Does that mean take a tree, plant a tree basically within that code, and if so, does it have to be in the same spot there?
So if I was in a. I just wanna read this part out loud, so. Since we recognize and are sympathetic to the concerns raised by Fremont Meadows residents concerning safety and neighborhood character. At the same time, the tree commission encourages the town board to continue to view trees and landscape features as essential assets to our community. And move to preserve the vegetated medium to the extent practicable. So it says. We encourage, it doesn't say we are mandated by the study that we did that they must remain, and then it says we respectfully request that alternative. To removal be considered, so they request it, we're not saying we have to follow anything, and then additionally, we gladly offer our partnership in developing a suitable replacement tree planting. So if we. Vote to remove this, I'm not. I would like, I'm not done with the discussion yet. If we authorize the highway department to remove the shrubs, it sounds like the majority of the people, based on the work they've done, would like it removed. So if that's, and then we can work with the tree commission to plant new street trees or whatever would be appropriate. And work with the residents, they're all nodding their heads.
There are still things there that need to be kept.
But they don't want them kept. They don't want them kept.
They're already marked.
Yeah,
That's
our resident. A resident part, not right.
Alright, thanks for clarifying.
A resident,
right now, don't get out there immediately.
Okay, I appreciate the feedback, we are deliberating based on the comments we received. So,
I would like to make a motion to authorize the town highway department to remove the shrubs and ornamental grass at the entrance to Fremont Meadows.
Is there anyone to second?
I would like to amend that motion to state that we would authorize the highway department to remove shrubs in consultation with the tree commission. Shrubs and ornamental grass in consultation with the tree commission, so that the tree commission would have input regarding exactly which shrubs are the ones to remove. Because not all of them, they're not all the same.
But the residents are telling us they want them all gone.
No, they don't. Some of them are active, some of them aren't.
So there was no second to the motion, so would you like to make the amended motion?
I'll make an amended motion to authorize the highway department to work in consultation with the tree commission to remove the shrubs and ornamental grasses at the entrance to Fremont.
Second. So, all those in favor? Aye.
Well,
All those opposed?
Sean,
Or all those opposed?
I'm not opposed to removing that. I am opposed to the contingency that was added.
The motion was made, it was a second. And I'm calling for a vote. So are you voting in favor or are you voting against?
I will abstain.
Okay, so that's 3 yes votes and 4 abstentions. Abstain. Okay. Got that?
Does that work?
No, because we need 4.
Yeah.
Okay,
Okay, so sorry, guys, we can't make a decision tonight. I guess what we'll do is we'll ask the tree commission to,
So the tree commission will still reach out to you and we'll move forward with that.
and maybe with our plans and tree commission,
Yes.
go next time. How often do you guys
We meet once a month, but it doesn't matter. We're still in communication regardless of the meetings. We'll still. I don't have your contact information, you have mine, please reach out to me with my email and we'll start.
Yeah,
asking you.
I think I put it, I got it all set.
All in the.
On the letter.
so then we'll make a recommendation to the trade commission to reach out to the residents and work together to find a motion that we can all support. Great. Thank you very much.
If anyone would like to speak for me separately about that, please feel free to email.
And thank you for coming.
Yeah. Okay, so next up, I have the presentation of the tentative budget. So as a reminder, as per New York State law, this is the tentative, sometimes referred to as the supervisor's budget.
And good night. Thank you.
So the budget has been presented to the town clerk, it will be transmitted to the board. As a reminder, this is not a complete budget, this is the A fund, the B fund, the DA, and the T fund. It's the vast majority of the budget. But it doesn't include things like the fire budget, special districts, all of those things. So it's not a total picture, but what it does is it takes the department budgets that were presented to us and kind of incorporates them together and starts to give us a vision of where this budget went up. I've talked at length with many of you about a number of things that we've added and removed from the budget. As I submit the tentative budget, it now is incumbent upon the board to prepare the preliminary budget, which do you know when that's gonna get presented? Okay.
I think it's the first meeting in November.
Okay. So we'll have the tentative budget posted onto the budget page on the website. We also did add all the department budgets up there. So people can kind of see how things have changed from when it was presented to us at the meeting and when it was adopted into the tentative budget. So any questions from the board?
So the new budget page will have the budgets that were presented by the departments at their public hearing.
So that is on the page now.
And this will be added.
Yeah, well, and we'll put it at the top, just say this is the current working tentative budget.
Okay, perfect. Thank you very much. And for people to know, we are working on the accessible budget page.
Yes, the budget book is getting developed. We ran into a couple of stumbling blocks with mapping data and a couple of other things, so we're working through that. And as soon as I believe within this week, internally we'll have a copy of it to take a look at. And then once everyone's comfortable and we've got some feedback and polish it a little bit more, we'll make that available to the public.
John, just to clarify, the budget presentation we have
22nd,
Over
and then the public hearing for the budget is November 7th.
Perfect. What's that?
So the preliminary will be published on the 22nd. Correct.
That's the presentation of it, in the board meeting on the 22nd, and then the public hearing will be the following meeting on.
Great. Okay.
So you refer to the book that we get published, so can we describe the software or the?
Yeah, so we partnered with ClearGov. They have a product called Budget Book. And this is something that has been used by a lot of municipalities. Basically what it does is it maps our budget to their system, and then it allows us to present it in a way that's somewhat interactive, adds narrative, that is significantly better than the reports that our accounting software generates. We're gonna deal with those reports in the short term as we finalize the implementation of the budget. Great. Okay, next up, Council Wiltshire, can you talk to us about these change orders?
Sure, we had a situation. As you know, we are doing construction at the highway garage. We had a water pipe that we dug up accidentally. So we would like to do a change order to authorize the supervisor to sign a change order P-01A, Town Highway Department additions renovation plumbing contract.
For a second, that's a motion. Second,
I'll second.
okay, all those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Okay, motion carries.
And then the motion that was for the water, and then a motion to authorize the supervisor to sign a change order P-02 for the Town Highway Department additions and renovation plumbing contract. That was for Lucas. Yes.
Okay, all in favor? Aye. Opposed? Okay, motion carries.
Thank you.
Next up, so we looked at these in the previous meeting, our longevity pay policy and bridge to Medicare policy. I know, Deputy Town Manager Kay sent out a number of, adjustments to those. Did everybody have an opportunity to review those? Or would we prefer to table this for the next meeting? Are there any questions? Oh, great. So just as a reminder, the goal is, we need to know if we're gonna adopt these policies before we adopt the budget, otherwise adopting these policies leads to some budget. Not the end of the world, but ideally, we're gonna figure this out before the budget passes.
Yeah, and I think we could just clarify the question that this is for the non-union.
Yes, this only covers non-union employees. The longevity pay policy. Okay. Next up, tree commission.
So we're giving them work before they start.
So they were attending meetings just to see what it was like,
They
you
were
know.
honorary tonight.
Yes, they were honorary members, now they've decided that they do want to officially be members. So it's a motion to appoint Craig Donnelly and Sal Siddiqui as members of the commission.
Second.
All those in favor? Aye. So opposed? Okay, motion carries. Let's see. And could you talk about just a little bit about the lease thresholds, resolution or? Great, Maria, can you just give a little background on it?
Of
Those-
the Gatsby, yep.
You do.
Okay, so Gatsby 87 is a new, standard that the Governmental Accounting Standards Board, has approved and passed, and it's specifically an accounting standard that changes how government entities recognize and report leases. So they're basically saying any lease that the town municipalities have to be on our balance sheet. But really, the only leases we have are our copiers. So that way, we don't have to enter them on our balance sheet as leases.
It's just setting that threshold.
Correct,
But if we were to lease a vehicle or something, then we would.
correct. Yes, that's a high dollar lease, so we would definitely want to list that.
Any other questions?
Motion to adopt a resolution establishing a materiality that threshold for lease reporting under Gatsby statement number 87.
Okay, all those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Okay, carries. So next up, we have, the letters of intent, from both, let's see, Revise and Civic Plus. So this is for the revised contract, or letter is for the website, the actual website itself. And the Civic Plus contract, that's for the Civic Plus Select software, that'll drive our agendas, that'll basically make it so that every committee, commission, any meeting of a board that we've established or commission will have full access to the agenda center, live streaming all of these things to really take what we do for our main boards and really bring it to the rest of what we do. So anyone to add?
I wanted to add that that will address the thing you brought up last time, I think about the authority commission.
Yeah.
We will give it a mechanism.
It's an opportunity for us to streamline, make more efficient the processes, make our information a lot more accessible. And once it's implemented, the residents will be very happy with the ability to access information along with ClearGov for you to look at and understand the budget, interact with it, make comments. So these are along with the ClearGov in this. So really good movement forward towards a greater transparency, answering what the public is asking for. What we always hear, no matter what meeting it is we need better communication. We currently do the best we can with what we have. So we've identified the clerk's office. Gary and Melissa did a great job at vetting all these different companies and nailed it down to who is affordable and can deliver all of what we need to be more communicative with the public. So if nobody has anything else to say, I'll make motions. Make a motion to authorize supervisor to sign. Oh, I will say, the letters of intent. I just want to let they say fun by signing the letters of intent, right, Carrie? It's gonna
It's just
where
make
we
them
won't be charged until we actually pass the
Yeah.
budget and then implement the,
Right.
but they can start building. And we could be ahead of schedule. So with that,
You sure you don't have anything else to say?
that's it. I think they did a good job. They did the responsible thing and, so I'll make a motion to authorize the supervisor to sign the website hosting and the design sales agreement with Revise in the amount of $16,890.
I'll second.
All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Okay, motion carries.
Make a second motion to authorize the supervisor to sign the contract with Civics Plus for the meeting management software in the amount of $11,650.
I'll second.
Those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Okay, motion carries. Thank you very much. Next I'll hand it off to Councilor Gonzalez McCurdy to talk about the town facility art.
Yes, so the town facility draft RFP is found on the website. Councilor Riesel and I met with Barton and Judas and received some input and feedback on our first draft. This is our next draft. So I've talked at the last several meetings about a process. So what we're doing is forming a steering committee of a group of residents that will be engaged in the process, a public engagement process, and then a technical analysis. So looking at the options and all of the studies that have already been conducted, and then coming up with recommendations. So B&L has submitted some additional information. We are not engineers, so we'll incorporate that on the technical piece. If residents have any additional suggestions for the RFP, feel free to share that with us. We're gonna finalize the RFP at our next meeting. So this is identifying the firm that we're gonna work with that will facilitate this three-ring circus, these three processes, the public process, the steering committee, and the technical piece of it. So we need someone who can handle this lift. It's gonna take significant time. We're anticipating it's gonna happen over a year. And so this helps us to have a process where we'll receive the proposals, review them, and then make a decision about who will.
Very much. Lindsay.
And I just wanna add, for Matthew's comments at the beginning, we did talk to about the ideas that the committee had to like really start with the community from the very beginning before we did anything. And they recommended that we not go that route. that would be exceptionally difficult for us to manage as a board. That it would be almost impossible to reach a consensus with such a large group of people. Especially if we were to really make a broad public appeal. And to create that smaller committee, we really want to have professionals helping us do that, so that we're talking as many people from across the region as possible, like we mentioned, people with different backgrounds who have areas of expertise. So while I agree with you, I wish we could do it that way. It just sounded like it would. That was actually the wrong order to go in. That starting with someone that we can hire to help all of us get through that process. It's just but we are not trained how to do that. So, we need someone to work with us and shepherd us through. I can't allow you to talk. I'm good in trouble, but we can talk after. But I wanted to address that publicly, that it's something we did discuss with them at length. But that and we had a couple people there that said, we see what you're trying to do, we get it, but that it's just, they've seen it fail before, that they just didn't recommend that approach. And we do want to make sure that we're doing it right, so that, this committee will get developed, everyone can apply to be on it. We will do very broad outreach to encourage people to apply. And then we'll have a robust public engagement process where then everyone can have that opportunity to participate. And we won't, one of the things Ingrid and I emphasized during that conversation was that we don't want to recreate the wheel. We don't want to do anything we've already done before. We have bits and pieces of studies and like this over here, this over here, this over here, there are parts missing. So they'll be able to really take a look at everything we have and say, this is what don't have been complete. And so that information is what will be imperative for the public, that when they'll be coming along the ride with all of us and evaluating all of that. So I understand they don't want to spend more money before that happens, but it sounds like to start, it's like a chicken and egg thing, but to start it, that is the first step. So I just wanted you to know, I had that conversation, I advocated for that, but I listened to the experts and their advice.
So I just want to make a comment. So the reality is that when you're looking at doing something, whether it's gonna be 8 million, 40 million, you hire professional services to guide it. And so I think it's the responsible thing to do, but I understand it's spending money and might feel unnecessary, but at the same time, people have come here and told us we weren't qualified to do what we're being asked to do. So we're trying to find a happy medium where we can bring in professional services that can guide through this process and make sure we get the input from as many people as possible. And that said, there's not two committees, not a bigger committee and a smaller committee. There is no committee at this time. This process is going to drive the committee. There is a group of people who are upset that Councilor Creasel had communicated with, had a meeting to talk to. They're not a committee. So anyone watching or listening or attending tonight, there's not a committee yet. There will be an official committee. Nothing's been appointed yet. And I just think there's a little bit of confusion. I just want to get past the saying committee and people being confused.
If I said committee, I didn't mean to.
Yeah, no, and I'm not trying to like call you or anything, I'm just saying, like, I just want to help not have confusion in this process. And I also want to ensure that we get to what needs to happen with either a new building or an existing building and either adding on or fixing whatever needs to happen quickly and efficiently. That's all.
Okay. Next up, we have election and budget adjustments. Two
So-
motions prepared for those.
There was an expensive amount of budget to spend on that.
It's just so that we don't have so many at the end of the year.
Yeah, so just like a high level,
Yeah.
we're right sizing a lot of the budgets, make sure that we're budgeting, the budget reflects what we're spending. There's an addition of the cannabis tax of almost $17,000. And then really the biggest piece is the addition of the expenses of the highway garage. That's by far the biggest, and that is, we have the bond funds available now, to pay those expenses.
And the board approved the revenue last board meeting, and now I'm just moving it over when the expenses.
Great.
So, but I just want to reassure everybody, it's very detailed. Down to one of them is moving 2 cents, so we are trying to be extremely accurate. But anyway, I would like to make a motion to approve the additions as presented by the staff.
I'll second.
All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Okay, motion carries.
And I make a motion to approve the budget increase as presented by the town.
Second.
All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Okay, motion carries. Moving right along, any announcements?
Swan Fest.
So,
The Swan Fest is this Saturday in the village of Manlius. 1 to 4, I believe it is?
Yeah.
From 1 to 4. What a time. We'll have an age-friendly table there. And the mayor is going to be in the balcony. We can get the chief in there too.
Chief's out of town.
We get it, thank you.
It's funny, you're gonna be in Southfield District.
You know, I found it out, even if he was here, he's on 2 weeks, 24/7, can't caught in the jump in. Meeting with that.
Just make sure he's paying attention.
I just want to mention, they mentioned that the, thanks to the, town clerk's office, the annual deer management plan survey, constituent survey went live about a week ago, 10 days ago maybe. We're gonna leave it up until the end of November, but please, go ahead and weigh in, just this very short 4-question survey. Just to collect anecdotes from property owners and people on how the deer population in their area is looking this year, the tick population and foliage damage. So we collect this and then compare it year to year to year to help validate or invalidate. Continue to have a deer management program in the town, share it with the village. So please, we'll leave it up to the 30th. That's it. Anything else?
I'm just gonna say, look, it's not one, there are, I can't even name them all. But it's pretty neat that in our town, we have so many local businesses that have announced some sort of fall or autumn or Oktoberfest type of thing. So all I can tell you is like, look in the papers and look on social media and see that you really have
There's
your
something
pick.
to do every day.
You have your pick, you can't keep up, you can't probably hit all.
Well, and the weather's just as perfect for everything else. We are in drought, but I'm not. Nice one.
seeing another announcement, we've got minutes to approve.
Motion to approve the minutes from September 10th.
Second.
All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Okay, motion carries. Over the abstract.
We all look to Sarah.
Yes, checked it out. So I'd like to make a motion to approve abstract number 18 in the amount of $462,227.59.
Second.
All those in favor?
And the winner is actually the trash and garbage.
All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Okay, motion carries. Continue on the business.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Okay, have a wonderful evening, everybody.
Thank you.